Welcome to the Real K&C. Ken Laird.
Chris Curtis.
A double recap Wednesday edition of the show, looking back at March the 7th.
Is today's Dino's birthday?
March the 8th.
Yes.
Reimer, followed by Evan Drellich, a 2-hour special today. Let's start with let's be where our feet are, Chris.
Oh, I like it.
How'd you think Evan did today for the final 2 hours of the program?
I thought it was a little nervous to start.
It's been weeks. Do we know where we're at now?
The bullpen depth is still a question.
Good.
I think Evan keeps going back to that insane...
That's pathetic.
40 minutes. He even referenced it on the show today that, I can't scream like that for 2 hours. That's not what you want. I think that's a little bit in his head.
That is what we want.
What am I
wrong with
scared
this
of?
guy? What a
You're
puss.
the one who has him here for 20 minutes.
First of all, it is what we want. And second of all, you can't think about what we want or what other people want. You just have to be yourself. And I think deep down there is a little bit of crazy in Drellich.
Get over yourself.
I think he has opinions, that he was a little bit shy to start, but I think as we got into the Deflategate towards the end of the show, I think he's earned himself another brief appearance. He didn't wow me by any standards today.
I, like you, was a little underwhelmed. He disappeared for stretches of that first hour. There is a pressure, too, because he's Mr. Baseball beat guy, like when Schilling's in, there's a pressure to just do baseball all the time.
Evan's nervous now because we're going to move on from baseball to football, and he's a baseball guy.
Yeah, I could see him getting a little edgy.
But
as you say, he reached for the Deflategate stuff. I'm not sure Kirk really wanted to. He was a little incredulous at first.
Why did he get a raw deal?
You want to debate
he
Deflategate?
didn't do it.
Those text messages mean nothing to you.
Do you really want
I
to
mean,
debate Deflategate in March of 2017?
But it brought him to life. It gave him some depth to his Red Sox image, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think that there was an actual story today that we led the show with, and we would have led with it whether or not Drellich was coming in or not, with this Price Stan Grossfeld story.
I give him credit for this. He went with the Q and A.
Yeah, when it says "Bye, Brandy Love," it turns out he's exactly right.
He just did the Q and the A.
It's embarrassing.
We already had that built-in story today, and I just thought it was kind of slow. I felt like he could get a little more into it with Price. I think he doesn't like Price. I think he feels he's called him a hypocrite. Could have had a little more emotion on that.
I tried to talk to this guy. Everybody, I believe, has tried to talk to this guy at some point about him, about baseball, and his life. And he stonewalls us.
But he didn't do anything to banish himself from the show.
Well, he also, I don't think, is going to be, even though he's going to be off the beat for the Herald,
I ain't the rest of them.
I don't see him ripping other Red Sox guys who cover the team, guys or gals. It is National Women's Day, after all.
Many women say they will mark International Women's Day today by wearing red and taking the day off from work. It is international.
Wearing red, what? Red pajamas as they lay around
red
the house?
negligee for the man, as they've been known to do.
Valentine's Day
yeah, a little red,
PJs?
little red brown panties and nice heels. Yes.
He's nervous to go down and interact with Pete Abe after they're back and forth on Twitter.
He's working for John Henry.
I don't know how much Henry's actually involved.
He's just beginning his journey into widening his media horizon.
Be better. Try harder.
You'll learn very quickly, and Reimer has noticed this from the Deitches and the Finns of the world, is that you're once the darling of these people, and then the second you get close with Kirk, Jerry, and the show, the venom comes right your way. Mm-hmm. And Drellich is going to learn that if he wants to be a part of it. He's going to have to deal with an unhappy Pete Abe.
I want to believe he's still going about the job. He might want to keep David Price happy.
The first 2 hours of the show I thought were pretty good without Evan Drellich. Started the program with our good buddies Tim and John, two of our in-house favorites.
I thought those guys did an excellent job, and once again, I'm not going to get bogged down.
Oh, man. Yesterday I'm listening. I tried to listen to the app on my phone. Was out walking the Pudge Man, and you can't listen on the app.
Unless you subscribe, as I do.
I guess so, but the WEEI app I couldn't listen.
Oh, not our app. Yeah, I'm talking about the MLB app.
Right. And so I missed an inning or two, and it was killing me. People were like, what's the score? Like,
what are they wearing?
Gray road pants.
Are there fires in Central Florida?
There are a lot of fires in the central part of the state.
Is a respectable lineup?
Two honest-to-goodness real Major League Baseball lineups.
I mean, what is the count, and was it outside?
And I pitched to Mookie Betts in for a called strike.
Because you can be distracted by conversations around you, Owner of the team might be in asking you a question, but you don't want to be caught off guard.
I'm very proud of what we've done, and what do you guys think of this ballpark? Just asking you. It's my first time here.
2-2 fouled off.
Greatest hockey player to ever live is sitting 20 feet away from you.
And Sandoval pops it up foul back and out of play.
I see Bobby Orr's here today.
We just wanted to spotlight what we thought was quality programming yesterday afternoon.
I need to know where the outfield
Jerry,
lined
the
up.
2-1 is foul back.
I couldn't believe Dale and Holly started their show and didn't even make a joke, mention, make light, apologize, whatever. It obviously wasn't what Dale, Michael, or Keefe would have done.
I screwed up. It does happen.
Contractually bound, we had to do it. But don't you open the show, make light of the situation?
I was on my way to Nesson when the two-time MVP of the Braintree Flag Football League.
Yeah.
They start right into mocking a caller from
They had a
yesterday's
lot of
show.
opinions built up, you know.
We're also monitoring the NHL trade deadline.
What is the thought process there? I ask that all the time. Why wouldn't you have fun with that?
Company friendly.
But Michael was even tweeting about it, a little douchey on the Twitter machine.
That's true.
Oh, this is bad. It's bad.
Funny enough, over on our brother station, as I like to call it, AM 850, we never got this audio in today. Our good buddy John Mita-Perrell on the call of it was really a classic Tuesday down at the Barclays Center.
Oh, in Brooklyn.
Tournament.
Huge.
The play into the first round. 2 minutes to go in what was a high-intensity game. You weren't sure who was going to win this sucker. What was BC was in it? They were only down 16, 18,
I believe it was down 19 or 20 at that point, yep.
The audio inexplicably cut off with 2 minutes left. We'll play it for you here, and then it goes unceremoniously into our good friend Bomani Jones.
As Collins hits the free throw to give Wake Forest a 16-point lead, 89-73. 2:06 remaining. Owens and Reyes back in for BC, and here comes Doral Moore in for...
So basically you're saying you don't want your offense to be too good because it'll make the defense tired.
The best lead-in Bomani's ever had.
It is, but it's insulting to Meter, you know. What does John think of this? He didn't get that final call. Because, you know, John's got some classic calls. Sometimes he rips off Joe Buck.
And these are words, folks, that BC fans have longed to hear.
Sometimes he gives you the temperature indoors.
Indoors, 72 degrees.
The weather forecast in the dome.
Sometimes he's just brutally honest about the state of the program, you know.
Can't get much worse than this one.
Did he keep going? He must have, and thought he was on the air.
No one will ever know.
Nobody will ever know. I'm going this morning.
Well, his color man will know.
John Mita-Perrell with Zach Spears of EagleAction.com.
How did you not get the call over Zach Spears from EagleAction.com?
There's an edict. No Kirk and Callahan members or producers are allowed to do any play-by-play.
That's a good point.
That's a fair point.
It was actually written in the bylaws when the merger occurred with CBS.
On the show this Wednesday before Drellich, after we had play-by-play entertainment, we had David Price talk. We had Kirk's performance review evaluated. He was in with the boss, Joe Zarbano, yesterday for, I would say, 45 seconds?
I had my performance review yesterday. I thought it went well. A little lengthy, a little too long for me, but I got through it.
He literally got up. We began talking about what this is going to be like. You know, are we going to be quiet, listen to the yelling? You had mentioned on your own, nobody else brought this up, that you wanted to tape it.
Yeah, my idea.
Ken Laird suggested I tape the meeting, which I was not going to do. That's a violation of privacy.
That would be wrong.
I believe an FCC violation, right?
Entirely your idea. And because I would never do such a thing. I don't tape.
I'm done. I'm done.
I said, let's do something illegal. Let's go in and tape the boss and play it.
And that pissed off Lou. So I hope Lou doesn't listen to this.
That was the worst part about it all. Private
Give him a death
conversation.
stare.
He just sort of secretly taping a private conversation. This guy's walking out.
Kirk flat refused. He won't participate in any kind of activity that's borderline.
No, Team Merloni.
He don't like to push the envelope.
Straight edge. He's just a normal broadcaster.
Yes.
He's a fairly traditional sports radio guy.
Short and sweet.
Not only that, Jerry was pissed that he wasted 20 minutes on his performance review the day before.
Right. When I was there, he asked me what I thought of other shows and other people.
Were you critical of those shows?
No, not at all.
Jerry's review form was much more filled out too.
Oh,
He
my
was
God.
detail oriented,
but
and
although I did see question 3, it was just capital MAGGOTT. It was just maggot.
You always got to throw that in there.
Yeah, throw it in there.
And a fascinating was in there as well.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
That was it. We today tried to go into a classic, at least a recent classic, K&C bit where we played audio over audio. In this case, it was Albert from Rhode Island, who was, we thought banned, but really our bans don't last very long.
Oh.
30 seconds.
Oh, you're soft. You've got soft.
Medication.
Hey,
What's up, stupid?
Albert, what's happening?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Albert was back on. Albert was trying to ask questions. My soundboard kept malfunctioning, and there was just audio playing over Albert.
To entice Belichick, at what point
Be
in the
better.
first round-
Try harder.
Ken, stop. Ken, I can't. Albert, sorry. Can you ask the question one more time? The freaking guys in me here. One more time, please.
Not falling for that again.
Why can't you sit there for 20 minutes and talk about the roster in an intellectual way?
What's the question, stupid?
What position?
I've got more Twitter followers out of my visits to Touch and Rich than this, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
What
is the question, Albert?
You're going to answer the
You
question.
asked more questions.
What is it? Ask it.
Tell him you wanted him fired.
Ask better questions. Be better. Say her name.
You're just a dweeb.
You are the ombudsman. Why
Why
can't you sit there for 20 minutes and talk about the roster in an intellectual way? Why don't you push a little bit more? How are you a better
Albert.
interviewer?
Jerry,
This is self-important navel
Okay.
gazing.
Might have sounded a little chaotic in the car.
I just love it. He is as dumb as they come. We had Pete Shepard talking to Albert a while back, and half the time it was John Ziegler, it was other people, and Albert was totally unfazed by it.
You disgusting human being.
What?
You can't answer it, Pete. Like,
We then got into black versus white. The best all-white basketball team versus the best all-black basketball team.
Thanks to Clay Travis, who tweeted this out. Dirk Nowitzki got his 30,000th point.
Clay Travis from Fox Sports
yeah.
threw out a poll. I just want to get your take on this because it's a tough call. I don't know where you're going to come down on this. Who's the greatest white basketball player ever?
Marty Conlon.
This became a topic, Dirk versus Larry, which we took into, and best American white team versus the best African-American white team.
How'd it do on the web? Did we get any Twitter response?
I think Pete Maravich's family are P1s to Kirk and Callahan, because I got 600 phone calls. You got to mention Pistol Pete. And I got a bunch of those. And then I got Bill Walton. I got a bunch of phone calls. We had mentioned Bill Walton, but they wanted to make sure that we mentioned Bill Walton. So total dead zone topic, but it generates so much. It's something we would never do in the heart of football season.
Yeah.
But it was for today.
It's March 8th.
It was March 8th, and the guys were passionate about it. Jerry and Kirk, despite what some may say, are two of the most knowledgeable people on the NBA in this market.
The best NBA talk in the city.
We just because that we don't talk about it doesn't mean they don't know about it.
Correct.
So I thought it was engaging, informed basketball talk, which the city is sorely lacking.
Cowens?
Jack Sikma.
Cowens won the MVP.
Dave Cowens. I would vote for Cowens.
Cowens is a better player than Jack Sikma. Cowens won MVPs and won titles.
Right.
He's better than Bill. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's better than Lambier. Was Cowens a top 50 player when they did the list?
No, I don't think so.
We had to reach for a couple of things today. Jerry probably reached a place he regretted. He asked Kirk something about what was the most out-of-line thing he'd done at age 15.
Oh, God, was this gross.
What's the worst thing you did as like a 15-year-old?
As a 15-year-old, I would have been a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
It was a kid I didn't like. School, we would have lunch, school lunch. And he was, I forget where he went. He was off talking to somebody else, and I took the biggest friggin' blood booger, and I put it right in his food. Right in his food. I did. And he ate
I'm
it.
so sorry I asked this question.
Well, he asked the question.
What is wrong with you?
He was eager to tell that one.
Yeah, so we had these idiots, 14 and 15-year-olds, that placed a bomb or some device on a train in Sudbury.
Yeah.
Or Concord, whatever. And
probably Bill Ricka, where Kirk was from.
Well, mean streets.
That'd be like me being Secretary of Housing and Urban
Why,
Development.
you didn't grow up in the ghetto?
Grew up in Bill Ricka.
No, you didn't.
I lived there for 9
you moved
years.
out of Bill Ricka when you were like 3.
I literally rubbed nickels together to make dimes.
Come to think of it, I'm going to check my food twice around these parts.
I literally had my peanut butter sandwich right in front of me as he's telling that story.
How about Dino's food? Was it ever spiked, do you think, back in the day? I'm sure it had to have been.
Oh, God. Dino sitting there eating sausage and potatoes while doing the weight loss reads were about as high comedy as you could have in the morning. Lumpster, I need some crisped bacon and taters.
Hey, my friends, good morning.
Let's go back to yesterday, Dino's birthday. We review the Tuesday, March 7th show with Alex Reimer as well here because we're scaled back to 3 days a week. You had a little tussle with Kirk at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Pudge on a plane became a topic again. How did you feel about this? And you recovered here over the last 24 hours.
You think Pudgy's a real?
No, Pudgy's
a therapy dog, right?
Is that what you claimed?
Yes.
Providing therapy for who?
And you bought it
for my wife.
You
For
bought
what?
it.
What is
bought
her-
the little vest online for $10.
Yeah, I had a feeling prior to yesterday's show that Kirk was going to go off. I didn't know it was going to be on me, but I could sense some unhappiness, frustration with Kirk. You work with him enough, you sort of have some signs, like not responding or whatever. And I repeated a Wonderlicks question or comment to him because
you had your own spin on it.
The Wonderlic test is like, what's the 8th month of the year? Isn't it like basic stupid stuff or no?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, just basic, what's the 4th month of the year? How
I
many
just
days
said the
of-
8th month. Okay. you just...
I literally clicked on a Wonderlic story and I was half listening, and one of the questions was 8 months. Anyway, so dumb move by me.
Kirk's reaction actually was to take his chair and start shaking back and forth, banging the chair into the wall behind.
Well, 4th is easier. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Don't break down the wall here.
Turn off his mic. I don't want to hear your voice again today. You're annoying me. I hate you.
What did I do to you?
Your voice annoys me. I hate you.
It really is uncanny, the anger I can create in Kirk.
Yes.
Because he points this out to him. He's like, it shouldn't bother me that Curtis wants to fly on a plane or goes on a plane with his dog.
Right.
That he chooses to vacation in Florida or whatever I do. But the ring genuinely pissed him off. The fact that I'm flying with Pudge and my dad pays for things genuinely pisses him off.
Yeah, the ring being the engagement ring in the photo you tweeted out. Yeah.
So
it is quite a rock, I must say. It's sparkling.
It's you do what you have to do in life. I was able to use my dad's points. That's what I had to do.
Reimer was in for the Tuesday duration. I think he was okay. They talked plenty of Celtics throughout the show. Ben Carson was a frequent topic of conversation in his stance on slaves as immigrants.
There were other immigrants who came here in the bottom of slave ships.
Anyway, I didn't think it was a typical Reimer Tuesday where he had something that stood out memorability-wise. I don't know about you. It was just kind of he was along for the pivot. It was fine. It was just a kind of punch the time clock performance.
Yeah, there was nothing too crazy. We had the threesome conversation in the open from his podcast, so we never really addressed it during the show.
Yeah. Conversation turns to a nice couple that lives up the street in Brighton, and they are looking for a third.
For Reimer's purposes, he wasn't a highlight of yesterday's show. We never really got too deep into the Deitch versus him. We had
Charlotte Wilder on his show.
We never
played that.
Charlotte Wilder is a staff writer at Boston.com, where she covers a wide range of topics from the beauty of northern New England to up-and-coming media personalities such as Fox Sports' Katie Nolan. Charlotte was kind enough to come on the show this week and give us a piece of her mind.
I've thought the last couple days have been good. Every show now is just sort of what the fuck, figure it out as we go, in terms of there's not one major topic, there's not one major storyline. The Globe story last night with Grossfeld and Price was obviously, that popped. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, even with NFL free agency tomorrow, we're not going to be banging 4 hours of should they sign Hightower, 617-779, et cetera.
Right. No, it's going to be, and Kirk made the point in the office today after the show, we wouldn't sit and preview free agency for 4 hours or do 4 hours of preview of the Patriots game during the season, so we're not going to sit and preview free agency for 4 hours.
Well, Jerry likes the criminal element. If we get some gang members or...
What does that mean?
What does that mean, gang bang?
Wife beaters, DUI members.
You got to pick one. And don't say you don't want any.
Wait, do it again.
One beat up his kid, the other beat up his wife, and the other is in a gang.
Speaking of tomorrow, we're not quite sure who's going to be in for our third man, if there will be one. But bigger news, after the show, Ben Kitchen has yet again failed to produce a quality guest for Kirk's podcast, so he has got to resort for the Enough About Me. Can I reveal this, or is this a secret?
No.
I don't see why not.
It's going to be Enough About Me featuring the Band of Four.
We're a team. We're a band of four right now.
Jerry, yours truly, and Chris Curtis. And we're not quite sure what angle Kirk will take.
I thought this was going to come up on the show today.
This will be your third appearance on Enough About Me, no?
I will be the leader in the clubhouse.
Get me out of this Curtis two-time thing, will you?
See, Kirk can't get enough of me. On Enough About Me.
What do you think Kirk will bring up? You have any theories as to what he'll ask us? Because he's got to fill 20 minutes at least. Just to, I don't think he'll care if it's terrible because he'll blame you and I. That's fine. Like the Producers Podcast, where you and I were on one of his we weren't the worst.
I think we beat Mo Vaughn, didn't we?
We did beat Mo Vaughn.
Take that hit, dog.
But we had Mo Vaughn on this week, and it was okay.
But I'm not sure where he's going to go tomorrow.
I honestly have no idea. I thought that, so I talked to Ben right before we recorded this, assuming that he had talked to Kirk. He said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And yesterday when we had the text exchange with the four of us, Jerry said, fuck no, I'm not doing this or whatever.
You can hear the fear.
And so I assumed that at some point organically or whatever throughout the show, the podcast we brought up, I asked Kirk after the show if it's all of us at the same time. You had wondered if it's 20 minutes each or whatever.
Yeah.
So no, I need all four of you. We need four mics. And that was the extent of it. Didn't get into any deeper discussions about the details of it at all.
I got a feeling he's got something radical to propose. That's my theory. He'll throw on us. He's not going to tell us before the podcast. He wants like visceral reaction. Let's do this. We're doing this. What do you think?
Sean Thornton for the Bruins playoff run?
Ooh, could be. Weekly guest hit with Brick.
Pierre McGuire, 105!
Is Benintendi going to be in studio or over the phone?
Well, my favorite spot's being in the big leagues. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, there's so many different options, so many possibilities.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something bigly show related, whether it's what days we're doing Mudd or Trenny, a different person to introduce to the casting couch. I assume it's casting couch related.
You would think so.
But, maybe he's trying to take down Zarbano. I don't know.
SRZ, swipe right Zarbano.
There's nobody that would be a permanent option for the morning gig. He's not asking that, right?
Yeah, I don't see Kirk really up on anybody right now.
No. I think Trenny of everybody is Probably
yeah,
on the
but
best
still,
footing,
I think
but not 5
even
days a week.
twice a week, I think he might be saying that's a little much.
Yeah. It's definitely not Reimer. I think Jerry's been down on him a bit.
Literally.
No problem, Jerry.
No holding back here, boys. Let's go. Let's get to. Oh my God, this is this. I thought you were slow dancing. They're dancing. Oh no.
We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be ready for Kirk's podcast, unless he gets a surprise last-minute guest when he doesn't need us. We've got 4 mics ready to go, so Lou, the engineer, has accomplished something. We're ready for tomorrow.
Ready to rock.
All right. Enough about me. Tomorrow, and we'll be back on Friday. See you then.
Take care.
There's a lot of pie-in-the-sky talk about how great the cloud is for storing and protecting your small company's data. Mike Osgood, Director of Business Development at Ronnie DeMeo Construction, begs to differ.
They weren't able to house special software for construction estimating.
And then there's the 12 weeks of bookkeeping data the cloud provider lost. Mike's firm decided enough was enough. They brought in Tab Computer Systems. But then
The old IT service provider was holding out our passwords that were critical to the transition.
the cloud provider decided to hold the rest of the data hostage. Fortunately, Mike's company finally got its head out of the cloud.
Tab set us up with a local server once we determined that the cloud was not suitable, obviously for reasons that like losing mass amounts of data.
Store, control, and protect your data locally, cost-effectively, with help from Tab Computer Systems. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or at tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.